Hello, hello. Welcome to Cooking with Chef Frank. Today we are cooking. Today we're actually having a cabbage theme, and I thought since I have so much cabbage in my yard, which is almost ready, and I thought to myself, let's do a cabbage theme today. So today is a vegan coleslaw. It's actually a vegan mango curry coleslaw. Then I have a stuffed cabbage leaves, which is usually known in the meat world. We stuff it with ground beef, but we do not have ground beef, obviously. We have surprise. I'm going to let you know in a few minutes. And the other one is a cabbage soup, which is very popular in Europe, in Ireland, or in Germany. We cook this stuff all the time, but it's very delicious. So again, welcome to Cooking with Chef Frank. I'm your host. My name is Frank Kramer, and I'm the founder of Eat Like a Vegan Chef. I help people transition to a whole food, plant-based lifestyle so they can lose weight and feel better than ever before. Okay, let's get going. Before we start, I would like to ask you, if you watch, please introduce yourself and where you're from. So in that case, I know you're there, and we can communicate together. It's always nice to see who's there. Okay, let's get going. I have a full menu today. A lot of stuff to cook. Let's start with my cabbage soup, because that probably takes the longest. And then I'm going to do my cabbage rolls. And then to the end, I do my coleslaw. Okay, let's get going. For the excuse me, I'm right here. I did not disappear. I'm still here. Sorry for that. I am actually cooking my soup in my Instant Pot. It's just easier. I don't have to watch it constantly. So much easier. Okay. That's the one thing I didn't set up. That's when you're cooking live. Hi, Tiffany. Thank you for stopping by. Okay. Good. For the soup, I'm going to saute onions first, and I have my Instant Pot on saute feature. That's about a cup of onions, and I have the garlic in there already. So I'm going to saute this, obviously without oil, as I always do. And I'm going to wait until I hear the sizzling. Okay, good. Let's see. I have another Facebook user from Chicago. One thing I wanted to mention is when you watch from the private group, you need to go first to the link what I had provided in Facebook, in the Facebook group. You need to visit StreamYard first in order to, and just click on your name, and then you can post under your name. Otherwise, Facebook has changed their rules. So when it comes to private groups, we have to give permission for StreamYard to show your name. Otherwise, your name comes up as Facebook user. So no one knows who you are. Unless you want to be unidentified, that's fine with me. It's just Facebook has new rules and they're really, really tight. So that's one thing. Okay, my onion's starting to sizzle. Now I'm going to add my celery and my leek. Okay. Good. Okay, let's see. Hi, Justin. Thank you for stopping by. Okay. A little bit more garlic in here. I think that's what I want. So I'm sauteing the onions, the leek, the celery, and the garlic in my Instant Pot on a saute feature first, because I want to give the soup a little flavor, and later I'm going to set it to pressure cook, so we don't have to wait too long when the soup's going to be ready in no time. I can also cook it on the stove. There's absolutely no problem with that. I can also slow cook it. Slow cook is a beautiful feature. You can do it for 3-4 hours on slow cook, and the soup is going to be awesome. That's another great feature. But since this is a live stream, I just want to make sure that you guys are going to see how the soup is going to look once it's done. So far for this, for those of you who just tuned in, I'm cooking a cabbage soup, cabbage potato soup. And so far I've been sauteing 1 cup of onions, a cup of leek, 3 garlic cloves, and about 2 stalks of celery. Just want to saute it a little bit, no oil, just a dry saute. And I want to intensify the flavors in the soup before I add my water. You can also add vegetable stock to it. But since I have so many vegetables in here, it really doesn't make sense to add vegetable stock, because what I'm creating here is a vegetable stock. It's actually a beautiful vegetable stock. That's why this soup is going to taste awesome, because of all the vegetables. So now I'm adding my carrots. And as you can see, I already have sort of like a narrow fry. Sauteing this. And then in a minute, I'm going to add my potatoes and my cabbage, and then I'm going to pressure cook it for a few minutes. Okay, let's see. Hi, Mary. How are you? Thanks for watching. Hi, Janice. Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay. For those of you who just stopped in, I just wanted to repeat myself. I'm going to cook a cabbage soup, cabbage potato soup. Before I start, I have a cabbage theme. Since we are almost in fall, not yet, but almost, cabbage is growing in leaps and bounds. They are ready very, very soon in a flood supermarkets. So, so I thought myself, I'm going to do a cabbage theme today. Cabbage potato soup, which is really popular in Europe, Ireland, Germany. We cook this stuff all the time. Then I'm going to have stuffed cabbage, which is usually a meat dish, but I'm going to have different ingredients. I will let you know in a minute. And then I'm going to have a vegan mango curry coleslaw. So we'll get there in a minute. But for now, I'm going to cook my soup in the Instant Pot. And I smell the celery, the leaf. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. So now I'm going to add my potatoes. Okay. And I'm going to add 1 cup of fire roasted crushed tomatoes. And then, okay. And then I'm going to add 4 cups of water. 4 cups. Add a little bit of salt. Some bay leaves. Like this. About 3. And half a teaspoon of paprika, smoked paprika. Little steel. Okay, so I'm not going to add my cabbage yet because I'm going to pressure cook it for just maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'm going to add my cabbage because I don't want it too soft. I'm canceling my saute feature and I'm going to do pressure cook. I'm going to do it 4 minutes on low. Actually, 3 minutes. That should be good. That's good. That is cooked. And then now I'm going to do the cabbage leaves. I have previously, just before the show, I have steamed my cabbage leaves. So you can see, just maybe for about 1.5 minutes. And I made sure that I took only the outer leaves because once you go to the inside, the leaves are not as big. So you have to be very careful to get a big cabbage, and you carve out the core first, and then you slice the cabbage like this, and you take off the leaves. That's how I came to those leaves. So if you don't slice it from the head, then those leaves are not going to be released. Okay. Actually, I'm not ready for this. First, I'm going to do the stuffing. I'm going to saute some onions again. About 1/2 cup. But I want you to know about these stuffed cabbage and basically any other recipe. This recipe I just created, this morning. Basically, I didn't look it up anywhere. I thought to myself, you know what, cabbage leaves, that's great, but what can I put in there? So I looked at my fridge, and I had some barley from the day before yesterday. I had some cooked lentils. I had some white beans in my pantry, and I have some fresh mushrooms. So I'm going to saute all of those together and make it a stuffing. That's it. You can do a stuffing with anything you like. It doesn't really matter. You want to have some items which are sticky, like my barley is a little sticky, and my lentils are going to be a little sticky. So that's great. It helps to keep the stuffing together. But otherwise, I want you to think like you don't have to use all the time a recipe. Just see what you have and create something out of it. Obviously, it's easier said than done. It's easy for me to say because I do it in the kitchen all the time. But once you create a relationship with food, meaning that once you see a vegetable, you imagine, what can I do with this? So that's when it becomes interesting. Like, for instance, when I go in a supermarket, I look at the vegetables and it sounds strange, but I look at my vegetables like I used to look at women. So wow, what can I do with this? And then I look at the beauty of the vegetable. I want to make sure the vegetables are clean, no blemishes on it. And then I take these, and then I think about it. What can I do with those? So, and that's once you go to the supermarket, you develop some kind of, interest and relationship, not relationship, but some kind of skill, what you can do with vegetables. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun. So that's a little bit about how when I go shopping, what I do. I fantasize with my vegetables. But sounds very strange, but that's what I do. Okay, onions are sauteing. I should add a little bit of garlic. I'm going to deglaze it a little bit with a little bit of water. Then I have my lentils and my barley and my mushrooms ready. Let's see. We'll see. Hi, Crystal. Thank you for stopping by. What else we have? Adriana. Hi, Adriana. Nice to see you. Okay. Tiffany is asking if I do the natural or I don't even know what you mean by that. To be honest, I don't know if I have that feature on my Instant Pot, but it's I couldn't tell you. I don't think I have this feature on my Instant Pot. Quick release or natural? Quick release. So once I pressure cook it, I do release the steam. I'm not sure if I have this feature. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm going to add my mushrooms to my onions. We have Pomani. Hi, Pomani. Thank you for joining. Okay, I know I'm repeating myself, but for those of you who just stopped by, I'm cooking a cabbage soup today. I'm cooking a vegan curry mango coleslaw and stuffed cabbage leaves. So I'm doing a cabbage theme. Okay. So later on, I'm going to, once I roll in my cabbage, I'm going to lay it in a fire roasted tomato sauce, which I have cooked already here, waiting for me. And then we're going to put it in the oven. What happened here? Okay, just want to get a little sear on those mushrooms, get a little color out of them, and then I'm going to add my lentils and barley to it. me while I turn the oven on. If you have any questions, please let me know. Do you let the steam release naturally or do you force it? I force it, yes. Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah. No, because I'm in a rush, so that's why I'm forcing it out. Otherwise, it takes too long and it will overcook. Okay. Now I can add my lentils and my barley. You know what? We should add. I'm going to add a little bit of color. As I said earlier, I just created this recipe, sort of, and I like to improvise. So I like to see what I have on my refrigerator, see what I can use, and that's when I create my recipes. So I think a little color would be nice. Good, so this is done. Want to season it just a little bit with salt and pepper. And with a little bit of oregano, maybe a teaspoon. Beautiful. It smells beautiful. And again, this is stuff what I had in my refrigerator. I think it's very important to utilize whatever you have in your fridge and cook something so you don't have waste. Because we are in this country, we have so much waste of food. It's just unbelievable. So I think it's very, very important to use everything we have. For instance, in a restaurant, when we peel our onions, when we peel, it doesn't matter what it is, the ends of the asparagus, the ends of the carrots, all this stuff we're going to put in a pot and we make a vegetable stock out of it. So there's there's no waste or hardly any waste in a restaurant kitchen. And if we would all cook like that, we could reduce our food waste dramatically. Okay, so this is my little filling. Okay, done. Let me taste it. You know what? Just a few pepper flakes. Give it a little kick. That's it. Okay, our cabbage leaves. It is. Obviously, it's better if this is cold. It's easier to use. It's easier to work with. Doesn't that look beautiful? Just like that. I find it beautiful. Okay. So you roll it in. Tuck the ends in. That's it. So now the challenge comes, we have those ripped up leaves. What we do is, we just put another leaf on top of it. Okay. Sometimes it makes sense to cut out the trunk because it's not really pliable. Put this in the center. Roll it up. Tuck it in. Side. I really had a cabbage, but didn't cooperate with me today. So most of the leaves ripped. But that happens. It's okay. Take this out. I think I'm going to roll it this way. I tuck it in. Could be a leaf here. This is really good. What can we do? Can you all hear me properly? Can you hear me properly? Can you just someone say yes or put a thumbs up that you can hear me properly? Okay. I'm gonna roll this up again. Okay. And I have my little pan. I'm going to add my fire roasted tomato sauce in here, which I cooked earlier. I'm going to put my leaves right on top of the sauce. Well, the one really didn't work out, the last one. But what can you do? You see? Now I'm going to put it in the oven. And let it roast for about probably 25 minutes. Okay. Soup is cooking. And now I'm going to do my vegan coleslaw. Okay, any other questions? Good, okay, you can hear me. Good. For the vegan coleslaw, I already made my mayonnaise earlier with 1 cup of cashews, half a cup of water, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, salt and pepper, and I blended up. Obviously, the cashews were soaked overnight. You can also cook them for 20 minutes, half an hour. That's fine too. Okay, so let me put this. I'm going to make the sauce first for the coleslaw. For that, I have 1 teaspoon of curry, half a teaspoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of apple cider, and I'm not a fan of too greasy coleslaw. So if I think the sauce is too much, I'm going to add a little bit of some non-dairy milk. In this case, I have soy milk. I add my 1 cup of white cabbage, about half a cup of red cabbage, 2 carrots of grated carrots, and then I have, this is half a mango, mix everything up. See the colors? I prefer these kind of colors. It's more like a tropical theme. And I don't like to add sugar to it because I think the mango provides enough sugar in here. If you wanted to add sugar, you could add dried cranberries, which is great. Okay. That's it. This is my okay. That is my version of my mango curry coleslaw, and you can eat it with your favorite barbecue, or just eat it for lunch or dinner with your salads, or it's a nice, it's a different application. It tastes slightly different than your regular coleslaw, but I like it this way. Okay, good. So our soup is boiling. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to add cover over my cabbage, because I don't want my cabbage to burn. Yes. Yep, beautiful. Okay, any questions? Oh, thank you so much. That's nice. Thank you, Adriana. Good. So as soon as the soup is ready, I'm going to add my herbs, my beans, and my cabbage. And then I'm going to finish cooking it, depending how far my potatoes are. Oops. Okay. Any other questions I can answer? Okay, my soup is ready. Let's see. So now I know what you mean by that. Force release. Yes, this is force release. Good. As soon as my steam is out, we'll check how the soup is inside. Isn't that a beautiful thing? A pressure cooker. You can cook stuff in 2-3 minutes and it's done. It's absolutely incredible. And I was never a fan of pressure cooking, but once in a while it's good. When you're in a rush, it's perfect. Okay, we're almost here. Almost there. With the pressure cooker, you gotta be very careful because it's. Look at that. Cannot really show you how it looks. I don't know if you can see it, but it's beautiful. So I'm going to add my cabbage straight, my beans, and I'm going to add fresh oregano, which I'm just going to throw in just like that. I'm going to give my sage just a rough cut. You want to taste it, how it is, and then I'm going to turn it back on to saute feature. Alright, let's start. Let's see. It's a little salt. Okay. A few crushed pepper flakes. So I'm gonna let it cook for another probably 5 to 10 minutes. And that's it. Soup should be ready. Actually, let me show you how the soup looks. Get an idea. Obviously, the soup is not ready yet, but this is how it looks like. So it needs to cook a little bit longer, but it's beautiful. Okay, let's see our cabbage rolls. Since the mixture inside doesn't need to cook or need to cook through and through because we cooked already, these things are ready in no time. So I think another 5 minutes and we're good. Okay. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to take out one of these so I can show you how they look like. When you take something out of the stove, out of the oven, the entire pan is hot. You want to make sure that you leave a cover, leave a piece of cloth or towel over it, because what happens if someone walks in and sees the pan, oh, that looks nice, and then I burn themselves. So in this case, they know it's hot, okay? Very, very important. I have burned myself, I don't know how many times in the kitchen, how many times. You know, someone put a hot pan on the stove, and usually either we put some flour on it, on the handle, just to show them that the pan is hot. But very often, people don't do that. Add a little bit of tomato sauce. So that's a very simple dish. I mean, this is your stuffed cabbage, and I filled it with lentils, barley, and mushrooms. Very simple. Roll it together, cook it in the oven for about 10-15 minutes. That's it. And the sauce is a fire roasted tomato sauce, which I just did before. And I only added garlic and fire roasted tomatoes, salt and pepper, and a little bit of basil. That's it. Okay, so that is all I have to do. All I have for you today. I hope you liked it, and let me know if you have, if you would like me to cook anything. I'd be happy to do that. And any questions or about what I do, you can always check my website, eatlikeaveganchef.com, for any information. And of course, my challenge, my weight loss challenge, is coming September 19th. So I will let you all know. I will post it on the Facebook page, so for everyone to see what it is about and to sign up. Let me see if we have anything else. Okay. Thank you so much. If you don't mind, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next week, Thursday at 1. Thank you.